The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Back to Business program with the Southern California PGA. This program was developed to help all of us as we recover and come out of the challenges dealing with the COVID-19 virus attack, getting back to business, doing business well and safe and responsibly. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. We're very fortunate to have the Senior Golf Director for LA County Parks and Rec, and he's a longtime PGA member, longtime friend. We'd like to welcome to Back to Business with Mr. Jorge Badel. George, thanks for being here, and have a good seminar. Appreciate you being here.
Great, thank you, Tom, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are staying safe and healthy as we all continue to do our best to operate our facilities in a responsible manner during this challenging time. I mean, it's just crazy. We're all going through the same experience. It seems like we catch our breath. We catch our breath for 1, 2, if we're lucky, 3 hours, then bam, we get hit on the side of the head again and tossed around as if we're in a washing machine. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like it was just like 5, 7 days ago, the world was still largely shut down, and then all of a sudden there was a flurry of activities from the governor's office, small towns, main streets, beaches, trails. Now non-essential businesses are open, so a lot going on in a very, very fast and fluid environment. We're all in this together. Not a single person in our great game, or for that matter on this planet, has said, well, last time we went through this, we did X, Y, Z. This is all new to all of us, and we truly are building the plane as we fly it. So you can get next slide, please. So we're going to have a presentation here on what's going on at LA County in terms of social distancing, adherence, and very important are the enforcement protocols. Next, please. Next, please. So on May 8th, the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health order lifted its closure on golf courses. However, the lifting of this order was predicated on each county golf course having strict social distancing safety protocols in place before opening to promote safe and responsible golf play. Just this past week, on Tuesday, a revised Safer at Home order was issued, and we're currently reviewing the order to determine if there is language in this new order which may allow us to responsibly ease some of the current restrictions in place for the operation of golf courses. Next, please. So as for the LA County Health Order and the safety protocols required for the reopening of golf courses, the development of the protocols was absolutely a collaborative process. I would like to thank all of the organizations and allied golf associations noted on this slide. I'd like to especially thank the leadership from the SCPGA, Tom, Nikki, Tony, as well as Craig Kessler and Kevin Fitzgerald from the SCGA for all of your work during these times, as well as for the Do Your Part, Play Safe campaign. Additionally, the Back to Golf operational playbook has been instrumental and an excellent tool when we develop the protocols and as we continue to amend them. Next, please. So after the Department of Parks and Recreation developed, again in collaboration with all of you, developed draft protocols for the health officer. We did not know you know, whether the health officer that we were going to make the presentation to was a golfer or not. So we created a very simple, very elementary little slideshow. It's just 7 slides, and they're before and after examples. So here, of course, you have the before pro shot, the golfers checking in there, and after. Now the starter window is outside. There's social distancing in place. So again, a non-golfer can see this and understand it. Next. Club racks. Club racks were required to either be removed or cordoned off. So here's a before and after picture. Driving ranges, again, to somebody who doesn't know golf, it may not have made a lot of sense, but I think this really tells the story here. So you have 8-foot centerline spacing and 12-foot centerline spacing. Restroom doors, provided privacy can be afforded, were to be propped open before and after. Golf carts. So the top photo, you have 2 riders in a cart. You have the first tee, you have a bench, trash can, ball washer. Second picture, single rider carts, social distancing, no ball washer, trash can, or benches. Here I'm having an organized section. Okay. Here we have touchless cups. For purposes of these photos, we did the raised cup for effect. So it gave them an idea of before and after. And finally, the 19th hole. So all benches and tables were removed. Unfortunately, it's a great tradition of the game of golf, and in my opinion, one of the most important parts of the round is to get together afterwards to reminisce, brag about our shots, whatever it may be. But unfortunately, at this time, it's not permissible. So here we show the before and after. It does say, the slide does say that the patio and restaurant are closed. Our food service is open, but it's grab and go. Just not able to congregate, you do need to leave the property. And additionally, there is no tailgating in the parking lot, which has actually become more prevalent, and we do have monitoring procedures in place to help eliminate that. So in addition to the protocols, and this is extremely important to the health department, in addition to the protocols, we needed to demonstrate that we had monitoring and enforcement protocols in place. So first, each golf course is to have an employee named a safety ambassador assigned during regular business hours solely dedicated to patrons, that patrons are practicing social distancing. The golf carts are clearly marked. You know, we let the operators know that they could rebrand their marshal or ambassador, because where this position is really needed, as all of you know, is in and around the clubhouse. That's where crowding is most likely to take place, in and around the clubhouse, driving range, practice facility, which in LA County's case is closed, and parking lots. Additionally, LA County Parks and Recs encourages all golfers to make an announcement every 30 minutes. You know, there's a lot of value in a PA system and the projection. You know, one announcement can reach many, many people. Keep it simple, keep it short. Remind all of our guests that this is to keep you healthy and to help us remain permanently open. Next, please. Additionally, in our monitoring protocols, you see the third bullet point. I was talking to Tom about this earlier. We have a golf division at Parks and Rec, and during the shutdown, our administrative duties largely well, they went down and largely went away. And after we reopened, the administrative duties were still, we were low on admin duties, so we are assigning golf operations staff to visit our golf courses on a regular basis. We have 20 golf courses, and we're getting to about 12 of them per day, to ensure that staff and patrons are adhering to all social distancing protocols. Again, the goal is to keep our patrons in the community safe and to make sure that we can continue to operate. Next, please. Bryce, can you hear me? Go back one, please. Go back one, Bryce. Okay, great. No, back. Forward one, Bryce. Forward. Bryce one. There you go, right there. Thank you. Sorry about that. So we're very fortunate. Government and back one, please. Sorry about this. All righty, let's go with this slide here. Addition. Okay, right there. So government employees, we are all designated as disaster service workers, and what this means is that in times of crisis, we can be reassigned to other duties to ensure public safety. So we're very fortunate at Parks and Rec. Unfortunately, pools are closed at this time, so we took aquatic staff, many of them who are lifeguards who are trained in monitoring, and they are serving as monitors at all of our golf courses. As you can see, they wear a bright orange mask. They're well versed in the golf reopening health order and the protocols required, and this has been a very, very useful program. So we're very fortunate to have it. It's approved until further notice, probably approved until pools open. We're not sure when that will occur. Next, please.
George, it's Nikki. We're on the COVID-19 updates and reopening slide. Not sure if you can see that on your end.
I cannot. So let me here. Let me pull up on my laptop.
It looks like maybe your connection is a little bit slower than ours. So we're seeing that's the slide we're seeing, the COVID-19 updates and reopening.
Okay, give me just a second. Sorry, everyone. Here we go, just a second. All righty. Very sorry about that. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, great. All righty. So go for it. I'm sorry, which slide are we on, Nikki?
It's the COVID-19 updates and reopening. It's blue at the top. Looks like it's a video maybe embedded.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. So that there is the Department of Parks and Rec's website. So we have the protocols listed there, as well as an informational video. It's about 5 minutes long on what golfers can expect when they arrive and play county golf courses. The next slide is we have a very loud yellow large banner at every golf course. Very simple. It's a reminder. It's at the entrance of social distancing protocols. So when we went to the health department, and this was very important, the protocols that we proposed went far beyond just the golfer and the golfing experience. So we discussed, all about the clubhouse and the clubhouse surrounds, food and beverage option, golf course setup, practice facility, maintenance, employee protocols, on-course work environment, end-of-shift procedures, and monitoring protocols. And the health department did express that they appreciated that very much, and they felt that it was very thorough and once again went beyond just the golfing experience. So once we were approved to reopen the golf courses, we met with the operators. We have 7 operators who operate our 20 golf courses, and we challenged them with a simple question. And we've talked a lot about this on our industry meetings and webinars, but we challenged them. What do you want the headline to be? This is very important. Now remember, this was 3 weeks ago when the world was shut down. All non-essential businesses were shut down. So we were very fortunate to be approved to open it. And certainly the opportunity was ripe for the media and the non-golfing public to have their eye on us. We were keenly aware of that. So first and foremost was to operate the facilities in a safe and responsible manner. And then we had to ensure we were taking the steps to stay open. So the next slide, these are actual headlines from throughout the country. So this is positive, and of course, this is what we want the headlines to be. And this is still very relative to this day. I mean, all it takes is one picture, one day for one moment in time, and it can just send out a horrible message. So here's actual headlines, positive, golf the perfect social distance outing during pandemic. Just 3 real positive headlines. Next slide. We won't spend too much time on it because we don't like it. These are actual headlines. So it's very important to think of this while you're going around. We're all tired. We have a lot on our minds. We have stress, but we have to ensure that we keep our eye on the ball and that golfers are adhering to all of the required protocols by your local health department. So the next slide begins all of the protocols. Definitely not going to go through them because you're all very familiar with them. We will talk about a few of them that are a little more sensitive or controversial, I guess. So let's see. So about 3/4 of the way down here at LA County Parks and Rec, it's single riders only in golf carts. That there are people who are questioning that and challenging that. Out of the gate, the reason we are going with single riders only and not double riders, even if they reside in the same household, was because of perception. Again, perception, media perception, the non-golfing public, people driving by on streets, residents that live on golf courses. As you probably know, the industry has had that problem, and we felt it was best out of the gate to just go with a strict single rider policy. Does kind of break my heart, having been a product of junior golf, that some parents are not able to ride with their kids. Once explained, they get it. They're not real thrilled about it, but they get it. So there's that one there. Private lessons. We do allow private golf instruction. However, it can only be one-on-one. There shall be no group lessons at this time, and group lessons is defined as 2 or more golfers. At this time, there is no group or tournament play. I do see that and hope that in phase 2 that's loosened. I think we in the industry feel that tournaments can be administered in an even more safe manner than just public play, because if you have 40 golfers, that is 40 fewer touches at the starter window. So we think that golf tournaments are very safe. They will have to follow the same protocols as the public. In other words, not arrive more than 30 minutes in advance. And of course, the major issue with tournaments is the scoring after. That tradition, I think, may be gone or will be gone for a while. We'll have to find alternative ways. We know that there's a lot of good ideas and practices that operators are already employing, but we do believe and hope that tournaments and group play will be able to return sooner than later. And then again, the next bullet point there is golfers must leave property. That's no tailgating. We've had quite a bit of tailgating, especially in the beginning. It's certainly understandable. People haven't seen their friends in a couple of months, and the opportunity doesn't exist to enjoy the 19th hole. But unfortunately, parking lots are very visible to the non-golfing public, and we have to ensure that golfers are not congregating there. Let's see, food and beverage. So our restaurants and cafes they're limited to takeout only, as we said earlier. We do permit a beverage cart. Staff must wear a mask and protective gloves. Social distancing safety protocols must be observed. Golf course, you're all familiar with those. Practice facility. This has been very helpful. As a lifelong golfer, I'm a little bummed about it, if you will. But the practice putting and chipping greens at LA County Parks and Rec golf courses at this time are not open. That is for the simple reason of trying to eliminate congregating. There are areas where people don't tend to move much, and they are free, and with everyone cooped up, it's very easy to grab the putter out of your car and go practice on the putting green. I love that, but just during this time, we're having to make sacrifices to ensure that everyone is staying safe. And again, we submitted to the health department maintenance employee protocols, on-course work environment, end of shift procedures. So, again, I mentioned this earlier. Just a few weeks ago, we were on our knees begging to get golf courses opened. The first week went very well, and now golfers, I don't know what you're experiencing, but it likely is the same. Golfers are getting more restless. They're getting, they're feeling more empowered. Hearing, all of a sudden golfers are turning into constitutional law experts, government experts, health science, medical experts. I visited one of our facilities this morning, and this guy was pretty hot, speaking his political mind. So now more than ever is the time for us to continue to keep our eye on the ball and ensure that we're adhering to all required protocols, again, to keep the community safe and our golf courses open. So I'm sorry about the technical difficulties there. That about wraps it up. I don't know if we have any questions.
Hi, George, it's Nikki. We do have a few that came in. One, I think you addressed. The question was regarding single riders and golf carts. Is it possible for a father and son to ride in the same golf cart provided the child is under the age of 16? And again, I think you addressed that, but don't know if you wanted to say anything further on that.
So again, out of the gate, the answer is no. And the reason is, I know it's for phase one, it's just very, very black and white. We don't know if that is a coach and a student, for example, and they could sell themselves off as that. I do hope, and I believe that it'll be submitted for phase two, to allow two persons who live in the same household to share a cart. My personal opinion is that it's very safe. I know different agencies are handling that different. Some are requiring proof that the two riders reside in the same household, and some are just taking people's words for it. But at this time, LA County Parks and Rec, no. Definitely hope it's a yes for phase two.
Okay, and that leads to another question on any, and I know it is a guess, any guess as to when phase two could potentially happen?
I do not. I can only give my opinion. I think, again, in the last week, it seems like so much of society opened up so fast that I think that may help. I will say and really stress, I mean, at LA County, fortunately, we are not aware of any negative press, and that is very, very helpful getting to phase two. Again, this is why I need to continue to adhere to the protocols, even though, staff may not like them, you may not like them, the public may not, your patrons may not like it. But I do not have a timeline on that yet.
Okay, understood. Yeah, obviously with everything through this whole challenge, every county is different. So Jonathan that asked that, just be patient. Obviously you're in the largest county in the state, and so they're going to take things very cautiously and a little bit slower than some of the other counties. But with San Diego as the second largest county now shifting to phase two, hopefully that's an indication that Los Angeles won't be too far behind. Again, that's opinion, not fact. Okay, a couple other questions, George. What recommendation do you have for golf facilities that do not have the staff resources to monitor the on-course and facility protocols? Obviously, you shared you've got some other county employees that have been moved over to help in other areas, but any recommendation or input there?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm fully aware that we are very fortunate. I would recommend, first of all, if they are booking online, I know that there's a couple of agencies doing this, that if golfers are required to book online, they either pass a little 10-question quiz, or they're mandated to go through very, very short, 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes, a review of the protocols, and that they agree to them. Also, I think the PA is very powerful. Of course, we hear what we want to hear, and if we're busy, pounding range balls, we might not be listening. But I think an occasional short message is very helpful. I also think that the starter reminding them of certain protocols is helpful. So although the starter is stationary and static, and it is an opportunity to make contact with our guests.
Okay, and then another question. How do you monitor and respond to questions that citizens bring up who aren't necessarily golfers, but maybe seeing a group of golfers who they interpret aren't following safety guidelines? Have you had that come up? Neighbors or people walking by making complaints of golfers? We have
We remind them that how important it is, how important this is to us to, keep the community safe and to keep our facilities open. And we let them know the steps that we are taking and that we will continue monitoring the situation. Fortunately, I think it's only been one or two concerns that we've had, but nothing on a large scale. And for that, we thank the golfing public and our operators.
For sure. That's good news. As you've gone through this, George, is there anything, hopefully none of us go through this again, but is there any advice that you could give someone that, hey, either this worked really well for us, or, maybe we could have done this a little bit different, would have made things easier for our customers or employees? Any advice, as you've gone through this and try to reopen 20 facilities?
Yeah, I'll give you my personal opinion. I go through this every half hour of my waking day, is to not take it personally. Don't feel that you've erred. This is new. This is new. We are building the plane as it's flying. People with 2020 vision, well, we should be doing, should have done this, should have done that. That's hard to swallow. So don't beat yourself up. Don't make knee-jerk reactions. Analyze, speak with your peers. There are a lot of resources available. I mean, start with the SCPGA. There are a lot of resources available online. I do think in terms of our peers, as I've told our operators, and during this time, we cannot be competitors. I know we're all fighting for the customer's dollar, but if you have a competitor 5 miles down the road, this is the time for the two of you to be friends and work together and share ideas. And I have learned, I've gotten many ideas from my peers in other facilities, and I'm also making an effort. I'm making a lot of phone calls. I'm I have an appetite to learn because this is new to me. I'm reading a lot. I'm getting on all of these webinars. So my advice is don't beat yourself up and reach out, and don't make any knee-jerk decisions, I should say.
Yep, good advice. This may be another guess, but maybe you have an opinion on it. Do you foresee tournament play being introduced in phase 2?
I do. Well, so I'm working on that right now, and per that last question, I am looking at the resources and all the ideas that are out there, and I'm following SCPGA, their protocols. They put out a couple of tournament invites out. So again, very open mind. I do think Craig Kessler's really big on this. I think we probably may have to get away from the word tournament or event, because that sounds like a large number of people are going to come together at one time. And I feel very strongly about this. Again, having played golf all my life and a million golf tournaments, and how fun and how much I love them, how much I love scoreboards and hanging out before, I absolutely feel that we're going to have to adhere to strict protocols. I said this earlier, arriving 30 minutes after, and then the age-old tradition of the scoreboard, I think is gone for a while. But I believe that tournaments can be run, administered in a safer manner than just regular public play.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that. I know at the section level, we're looking forward to getting back to tournament play, later next month, both for our section professionals and for our junior tour. So really looking forward to doing that. It's going to look different. It's going to feel a little bit different, but I think it'll be great. And if it's any indication, we've sold out our first section event very quickly. So we're really excited about that. What, you talked about the resources that you looked at and referred to. the golf industry came together and created the Back to Golf guidelines. Was that any help to you as you presented, these new protocols to the county? What sort of a role did those guidelines play, if any? And maybe the timing wasn't right.
Yeah, no, very much so. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you wrote the protocols." I didn't write the protocols. I sat, listened, learned, called people, read. Observed is a very big thing. So maybe if you're looking for ideas, maybe go to another golf course and just observe for a while. So absolutely, Back to Golf was very, very helpful.
Good. I know we will follow those guidelines at the section level as well. To golf play and specifically competition, but even recreation, what are you using in the actual golf hole? Are you using a noodle, or are you using some other device that attaches to the flag stick? Is it consistent throughout the 20 facilities?
So by and large, it's consistent. So out of the 20 golf courses, 19 of them are using the noodle, and one has a raised cup. We don't feel these are run by private golf course management companies. We didn't think it was our place to tell them exactly what method to use. As long as we approved it as being touchless, we were fine with it. But at this time, I think the noodle overwhelmingly is the most popular device being used out there.
Yeah, for sure. What about from a supplies standpoint? Specifically for your employees and even customers, whether it's sanitizers, masks, disinfectant. Have you had any issues in acquiring those supplies? Easy for you since you're working for the county? How did that play out?
Yeah, so it's kind of a strange answer because we were the last county to open in the state of California. By the time we opened, supplies were more readily available. I know some of the courses, facilities that opened earlier, 2, 3, 4 weeks before us, were having more of a problem, but when we opened, we did not have any issues with supply.
Well, that's good. That's good. And I know you mentioned golf instruction is allowed, one-on-one instruction for now. How has that been received? Are you seeing a lot of people take lessons, and are your golf pros busy in that regard?
So unfortunately, they're not. Again, kind of breaks my heart. Can't really put our finger on it. We think I've spoken with instructors, and there may be something about not being able to see. I mean, you can hear, but you can't see someone talk, if you will. And additionally, you cannot get within 6 feet. I think it's difficult. It is not impossible, but sometimes we just need to help somebody with their grip or their position at the top of the swing. So I think those are the challenges: not getting close, the masks, unable to help place students in certain positions. So golf instruction right now is a little slow.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll change real soon.
Right. Right.
George, that's all the questions that we have. So thank you so much. I know Tom has a couple more things, but really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, thanks, Nikki, very, very much. And good questions. And George, thanks for taking the time to respond. A couple of things before we close out and do the thank yous with George and so on. Remember, you do get you do receive 1 hour credit for MSR, even though we'll probably do about 45 minutes, but you'll still get the 1 hour credit. So that's a good thing. A couple of other things in fulfilling our responsibilities, and on our SCPGA.com, we have a COVID-19 resource page, and we just posted on that page some guidelines for retail, as well as food and beverage that are published by the California Safety Commission, as well as OSHA. So if any of you are in that stage that you need some sort of guidelines in regards to opening the golf shops and your retail shops, as well as, excuse me, support for your food and beverage operations, it's still going to be in a lot of cases walk up and take away, but there are guidelines through those, as I mentioned, with OSHA and California Safety Act that you can refer to. Other websites, of course, pga.org, I mentioned Back to Golf numerous times, both the guidelines and the playbook, which are extremely valuable tools to utilize as you go through the process of reintroducing golf as an outdoor activity, which, by the way, that's where we are considered. We got all of our approvals, for those of you who don't know, based on our position as a safe outdoor activity, as George mentioned earlier. And that's something we maintain, and the reintroduction of instruction in various counties, San Diego in particular, the health department considers golf to be very safe, as well as instruction easy to maintain the safety spacing, as well as the sanitizing protocols that are, and keep doing good things there, because that's that keeps us going in that regard. A lot of changes, a lot of touch points protected, and that's the way it's going to work from now on. But thank you all. This will be our last Back to Business webinar. We appreciate it. Thanks so much to George and Tony, of course, and so Bryce in the background programs that we're doing now, or as well. So thank you so much, George, and successful reintroduction of the game of golf.